meditation you sent me. That was very useful. I have been using it for myself. Anyway, guys, just really quickly, I have to go through the legal little thing that, because this is a recording. Just understand that there is always a risk of injury if you take part in any form of physical activity. So by continuing to watch me, you understand that and you take that liability. But that having been said, I just want you just to listen to your body. Really, really important. Everybody has their own little issues, little things that are going on with their body. You know your body better than I do. So you just work at your own pace, at your own level. Everything is pain-free. We're not meant to be feeling the burn or anything like that. You need to be aware that you're using muscles, but not to the point where it's really, really uncomfortable, okay? So rest whenever you need to. Please drink, especially at the moment when it's nice and warm, and just enjoy. Come with a sense of humor, smile, it's all good. So when you're ready, you're gonna start with your feet together. Just stand nice and tall. Just take a couple of moments, just sort of ground down. A lot of the crazy stuff is going on in the world right now. So we're just going to take a couple of nice deep breaths. Just let go of everything that's going on right now. And then just take this time for you and your body so you can get the absolute most out of it. So when you're ready, just politely put on hold anything else you have left to do for the day and just be present in the moment. And then when you're ready, take your heels in a small triangle. Bring your toes in line with your heels. So your ankles, your knees, and your hips are nicely aligned. Then really splay your toes, so almost feel the webbing of your feet spread, and then give your toes a little wiggle. Maybe just lift each toe individually. Have a couple of moments like this, and then when you're ready, just gently rocking backwards and forwards, left to right, and just try and find a point where your weight is evenly distributed between your left and your right foot, and between the balls and the heels of the feet. So when you find that point, I just want you to keep it there. And then we're traveling up towards the knees. A little softness to the knees. Try and lock out. And then bring your hands to your pelvis. Either a little triangle, either side of your hip bones or back and front. Little baby pelvic tilt. So just rolling through the pelvis, sending the tailbone under, and then sending the pubic bone down. So just little rolls. And I just get a little bit of movement into that lower back. If you've just woken up, this might be a little bit tight. And then you're just going to end up with your tailbone slightly tucked under, and then bring your hands down by your side. Now I want you to think about lengthening up from the crown of the head. So imagine the golden thread just lifting you, just making you as long and as tall as you can. Just take a moment here just to breathe and think about your alignment. So your head is going to be directly over your rib cage, directly over your pelvis. Quite a lot of the time we don't even realize we're sort of swaying back and forwards. Just try and keep that nice, sort of that plumb line going through the middle. Now focus on your eyes on the horizon. Keep your chin parallel with the floor. Now squeeze the shoulders up to your ears. Squeeze them back and then gently slide them down. So we're just going to do that a couple of times. As you're doing this, I want you to think about creating length between your shoulders and your ears. And you're going to end up with your chest open and lifted. Collarbones are super wide and you're squeezing your shoulder blades back. Now we're going to think about our core. Big wide belt of muscles. I want you to tighten it as much as you possibly can. So it wraps the entire way around your torso. Imagine a big wide belt, tightening it, maximum intensity, notch number 10. Really quite uncomfortable, quite difficult to breathe. And then slowly and with control, you're going to release it halfway. You're just going down to notch number 5, holding it there. And then with control, you're going to release it a little bit further down to notch number 3. See if you can keep like that for the rest of the time we have together. So when you're ready, take a nice deep breath. Inhale. Allow the body to expand. Exhale. See if you can squeeze and lift the pelvic floor. So one more time, breathing in and breathing out, squeezing and lifting the pelvic floor. So when you're ready, you're going to bring your hands down by your side, standing nice and tall. And as you inhale, you just squeeze your shoulders up to your ears. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then with a sharp exhale, you let it go. So do that 2 more times. Breathing in and then breathing out. See if you can let something go. This one, when you make it count, squeeze, 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 and then big sigh as you release it down. Bring your hands to your lower back, or you can interlace behind your tail. Then slowly and gently nod your chin to the chest and start circling with your nose. You're just going to do 3 little circles with your nose. As you lift your nose to the sky, try and be careful, mindful that you're not crunching the back of the neck. Your chest is really open and lifted. Collarbones are wide. And then when you're ready, start reversing your circle. So you're standing really tall. Knees are soft. tailbone is lengthening down towards the ground, and you have a little bit of core engagement. And when you've done your last one, we're just going to do some shoulder work. So when you're ready, take your right arm, you're going to swing it up, back and around, as if you're doing a backstroke in, especially my left shoulder. So just notice how that feels. You're just going to do one more on each side, and then we start reversing it. And then we go the other way. So you can imagine doing a front stroke now. So just sweep the arms back, up and round, and really stretch up as if you're trying to touch the ceiling, following it with the gaze, and notice how that feels. Just waking up the body gently. And that's your last one. And I hope we're feeling okay. So when you're ready, you're going to take your right hand, you're going to take it out to the side. So a little stretch through the left side of the body. And you take the arm up, and then we go over. And then you get a really big stretch from armpit to hip. And then float the arm back down, do the same on the other side. So send it out, little stretch upwards, and then we go over. Now, as you're doing this, check what's going on with your shoulders. It's very easy for this to happen. So just the shoulders away from the ears, and then come back down. Nice and slow and controlled. Keep the knees really soft. Try not to lock them out. Tailbone is lengthening down to the ground. This is your last one. And then when you're ready, we're going to go into a little bit of rotation. So bring your hands in front. Wrists are slightly lower than your shoulders. Tailbone is tucking under, core's engaged. All I want you to do is take a deep breath. On the exhale, you've got to follow it with a gaze. Your right arm is going to rotate out to the side. Go back as far as you comfortably can. You're following it with your back and your chest, and then you inhale to come back. So you exhale with the left side. You're going to imagine you've got spotlights on your hip bones. So they're going to stay facing forwards. That's not moving. It's just your upper back. And you reach around as far as you comfortably can. You know your body better than I do. So just listen to your body. Work within your own natural range of movement. So as you're doing this, you're still lengthening from the crown of the head. Tailbones are lengthening down towards the ground. And you've got nice soft knees. So just mobilizing through the thoracic spine. If you want to add to this, you can maybe just the heel, so you're on your toes, or maybe you can let them. It's just going to challenge you a little bit more, make you work your core, make you focus on your balance. You've just got one more on each side, so just one more set to go. Use the breath to feel the movement. Exhale as you rotate. Inhale as you come back. Really nice. And then when you're ready, just allow your arms to come back down. Take your feet back to hip width apart. Make sure they are hip width apart. And then we're just going to do a little figure of 8 with our pelvis. So just standing tall. Try and keep the eyes focused on the horizon. Just smile. It's all good. Keep the knees nice and soft. And then without thinking about it, just start reversing your figure of 8. Nice and easy. And then when you're ready, we're going to do a little squat. So take a nice deep breath. On the exhale, you're going to fold at the hips. Folding at the hips. Bottom goes out as if you're going to sit back into an imaginary chair. And then the knees start to bend. So the knees are going to track directly above the ankles. And we're just going to do a couple like that. So exhaling as you come down. Inhale as you come back. But as you're doing this, you're not just forgetting about your tummy and just letting it spill out. You're going to engage everything, draw everything in towards the midline. Your tailbone is going to be slightly tucked under. And what you're going to feel is a really big stretch all the way through your backside, your lower back. That's where you want to feel it. Make sure those knees aren't starting to come forwards. Really push the bottom back. And the other thing I want you to think about is your chin. We don't want to crunch the back of the neck. So just keep the chin ever so slightly nodded. And then if you want to add to that, you may want to look over opposite shoulders. So just work at whatever level feels right for you. Just make sure you're breathing. And also take note how you feel today. Sometimes you just don't feel it. You're just not feeling great. So just be kind to yourself. Go easy. Breathe. Just going to do one more. And then when you're ready, we're just going to stretch through the foot. So with your right foot, taking the weight off the heel onto the balls, onto the tips of the toes. And if you can, you can go right through to the front of the foot. See if you get any little clicks. The other thing I want you to think about is when you're doing this, try not to collapse into this hip. So keep the hips nice and level, lengthening from the crown. Big stretch all the way through the front of the foot and through the shin, and then slowly releasing down. Same on the other side. So taking the weight off the heels onto the balls, toes, tips, and then straight over to the front. So you should feel lovely big stretch. Again, we're not collapsing here. Hips are level. Chest is open, lifted, lengthening from the crown of the head. Smile. It's all good. And then when you're ready, release that down. And we're going to start with our roll downs. So hopefully you can still see me. Feet are going to be hip width apart. Excuse me. Knees are going to be soft. Tailbone is tucked under. Chest open, lifted. Take a deep breath. Nod the chin to the chest. Now listen to your body. You only work with what you've got. So you're going nice and slow. Keep the knees soft. Allow your head and your hands to hang heavy like a rag doll. Keep the core engaged. So draw in all those muscles, that big wide belt of muscles. Draw them in towards the midline. And you're just going as far as is comfortable for you. When you've got to your furthest point, take a moment there. Breathe. And then when you're ready, take a deep breath. On the exhale, you slowly restack. So really taking your time. You've only gone as far as is comfortable for you, so there shouldn't be any pain or discomfort. You're just stretching through the spine, articulating through each vertebra. And it's your shoulders, your neck, and your head coming up last. We're going to go again. Standing tall, nice soft knees, tailbone tucked under, not the chin to the chest. Scooping through the abdominals, allowing the head and the hands to hang heavy as you slowly, segmentally peel your spine. You're only going as far as your body allows. When you get to that, your final point, just take a moment there, breathe. And then maybe bend the knees generously to bring your hands towards the floor. Now today, I just want you just to walk towards the outer edge of your mat. If you've got a mat or a towel or a blanket on the floor, and then walk your hands over to the other edge. So just get a little stretch to the lower back. Really keep the knees nice and bent. So you can just have a little, you may want to walk your hands to the outer edge of your ankle, your shin, or your knee into a downward dog. So if you go into the downward dog, make sure that your hips aren't swaying side to side. When you've made your dog as long as you want it to be, you're going to descend your tailbone up towards the sky. Bring the chest as if it's going to come towards the tops of your thighs. Now, knees obviously can be bent, heels can be away from the mat. And then just think about your placement. So just very subtle. Turn your hands outwards. So index finger and thumb towards the top end of the mat, little finger towards the outer edge. So you've got an external rotation of your upper arms. And then just turn your toes inwards ever so slightly. Just again, internal rotation of your thighs. So just breathe here for a few moments. Notice how that feels. Get a really big stretch, really nice big opening up through the shoulders, the chest, and also the backs of the legs. So just hold that for a few moments. Now you've got the option of just bringing your knees down, or you can shift your weight forward. You may want to reposition your hands slightly and come into a little plank. So just get a little bit of fire into the body. So you're going to lengthen from crown to tail. You're going to hug your front body into your back body. You've got the heel to sit bone connection. You might want to rock backwards and forwards a little bit. And then we're just going to breathe. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. We're holding this for 5, for 4, for 3. Feel that heat, that warmth coming into the body for 2, for 1. Smile. And then you've got the option of bringing your knees down, or you can just slowly lower your body down to the mat. Well done, everyone. I hope you all followed with that. We're going to come, first exercise on our fronts. We're going to do a diamond press. So let's just set ourselves up. I know I'm really pedantic with this, but just, I'm not with you, so I need to protect you. So you're going to have your feet hip width apart. Excuse me. The tops of the feet are going to press into the mat. And you're going to attempt to keep your bottoms relatively relaxed. So we're not going to clench. And then a very subtle tilt of the pelvis. So tuck the tailbone under, press the pubic bone into the mat, and then imagine you have an ice cube under your belly button. Now today we're going to have our hands in a little diamond shape just in front of us. So we're lowering our forehead to the floor. And then just check what's going on with the shoulder. So you may have to adjust where you put your diamond. You might need to come up further, wider, lower, whatever works for you. But check your shoulders aren't right by your ears. Take a nice deep breath, nice and easy. Press the pubic bone into the mat. Tuck the tailbone under and scoop to the abdominals as you lift your head, your neck, and your chest away from the mat. You're just keeping the gaze down, looking at your diamond. Inhale to come back down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to come back down. So the really important thing with this that's going to protect you and serve you is the pelvic placement. So if you tuck your tailbone under, press your pubic bone into the mat, and also engage your core muscles, you're not going to have any discomfort or pain in the lower back. If you do, please stop and send me a message or contact me, okay? So we're just going to, it's really important. I don't want you doing this if it's causing you discomfort. The other thing I want you to think about is what we're doing. The purpose of the exercise is to strengthen through the lower back muscles, so the lumbar muscles here. Right, so you've got this as your first option. If you want to keep with that, that's brilliant. Just keep with that. If you want to add to that, you can bring your right hand. Just lift your hand, keep the elbow down, and bring the back of the hand to the forehead in a little salute. And then we alternate. So you can rest between if you need to. And just lift your hand. So if that is too much, just keep the hands on the floor. If you want a little bit more, you can lift the entire arm. So the elbow comes up as well as the hand. If this is too much, elbow comes down, or keep both the hands all the way down. So just work with what you've got. Find what feels right for you. So we're just trying to strengthen through the back. Really think about engaging your core. So drawing that big wide belt of muscles in towards the midline. And check also other things in your form. So make sure the shoulders haven't come right up by the ears. And check that you're not sort of clenching or grimacing or grinding your teeth. Just relax, soften all that down. And then I'm going to give you one last option. You can try and lift the leg from the hip and then alternate. So you just work whatever feels right for you. Just make sure you're breathing. And then if you want to be super clever, you can do opposite arm to opposite leg. But really remember to keep that pubic bone pressing into the mat and engage in your core. You're going to do 2 more of whichever version suited you best. And when you're done, you're going to bring your left hand underneath your forehead, swim your right hand back, flex your right knee. With your hand, you're going to reach back. You can either grab your sock, your trouser leg, or your foot, and gently encourage the heel to the buttock. No need to force anything. Just breathe. Feel that really nice big stretch to the front of the thigh. And then if you want a little bit more, just tuck the tailbone under, press the pubic bone into the mat, and you should feel that stretch intensify. So just be mindful of the knee. You're not yanking on that knee. And then when you're ready, just release the leg down. We'll do the same on the other side. So right hand replaces left, flex the left knee, and reach back with your hand. So grab your sock, your trouser leg, your foot, or it's just the intention of reducing the space between the heel and the buttock. But whatever you're doing, no yanking on the knee. Just be careful, be mindful. What I want you to feel it is at the front of the thigh. So just holding that for a few moments. And then really, if you want a little bit more, tuck the tailbone under, press the pubic bone to the mat, just like we've been doing in our first exercise. It just gives you a little bit more intensity into the stretch. Breathe, and then release the hand back, the leg back down. We're going to press up into 4-point kneeling. So I hope you're all okay. Oh, I've got 10 people watching now. So when you're ready, wrists are going to be underneath the shoulders. Knees are underneath the hip points. So if you can, just spread your hands nice and wide. And then I want you to think about lengthening from your crown to your tail and then your tummy. We don't want to just let it all spill out here. A little tuck at the tailbone under and draw, not a good top to be wearing, but draw everything in towards the midline. Then maybe soften the elbows, press the mat away from you. You should get a big stretch between your shoulder blades now. So we're just going to do a little cat-cow, a little release stretch. So inhale as you drop the tummy, open the chest forward. Exhale as you round through the spine, bring your chin to your chest and tuck the tailbone under. We're going to do 2 more cycles. So inhale as you drop the tummy, open the chest forward. Tailbone comes up. Exhale as you round through. Nice and slow. As you do that, just see if you can hug those lower ribs right in and press the mat away from you. Last one, inhaling as you drop the tummy, open the chest forward. Relax the shoulders. Exhale as you round through. So as you're doing this, see if you can just feel the skin in your back sort of stretching. Really hugging those ribs in. And then when you're ready, come back to a nice neutral position. Relax the shoulders again. Take a deep breath. Just drop the hips to one side and look over the opposite shoulder at the foot. Come back and we do the same on the other side. So just tick-tocking your hips side to side. Lovely little release for the hips, for the lower back. And you can keep doing that, tick-tocking either side, or you can start adding to it. So you can maybe circle around and find any little organic movement that feels good for you. So you might want to integrate the neck any way that feels good, and then sort of find little bits that are not so happy. So just go into them. And this is a really nice exercise if you've spent a lot of time kind of sedentary. If you've been sat driving or on a flight or at a theatre or the cinema or just at your desk. It's always good. And then when you've had enough of that, you're going to send, so you tuck your toes under, send your right leg out long. So you're just going to stretch backwards and forwards a couple of times. Nice big stretch to the back of the leg. And then when you're ready, start sliding the right leg behind the left. Press the mat away from you as you look over your left shoulder at your right foot. Nice big stretch. And then when you're ready, slowly slide it back. We'll do the same on the other side. So left leg goes out long. You're going to stretch backwards and forwards a couple of times. Relax your shoulders. And then start sliding the leg around as far as it's comfortable for you. Then press the mat away from you as you look over your right shoulder at your left foot. Get a really nice side body stretch. And then when you're ready, slowly sliding it all the way back. And then we're going to lower the elbows to where the hands want to be. So you've got two parallel lines here. And we're just going to do some donkey kicks. So we're working the posterior chain, so your bottom and your sort of lower back. So when you're ready, just check your positioning here. So just check we're not crunching the shoulders or the neck. So you've got the gaze down, excuse me, with your right leg. You're going to send it up and lift. And then slowly bring it back down. And we're swapping over. So nice and easy. Just little donkey kicks. What I want you to think about is when you lift the leg, let's not allow the hips to sway. So you're going to have to use a little bit of core to stabilize. And as you're doing your kicks, if you can, flex your foot so the toes towards the floor, heel towards the ceiling. Make sure you're breathing. And also don't forget about your tummy. You haven't just suddenly just let it all just hang out. So you're drawing everything in towards the midline. That is going to support and stabilize your pelvis to prevent it from swaying side to side. So just breathing a few more moments like this, just strengthening through the posterior chain to your glute muscles, your lower back muscles, and your hamstrings. So this next one, I'm just going to do one more set, and then we're going to start pulsing. So just make sure you're breathing. It's all good. We're nearly there. So on this one, with your right leg, you send the right leg out long. You're going to have the leg out. Try and dial your toes down. Keep the hips nice and level. And we're just going to do 10 little baby pulses. So just relax your shoulders for 9, 8, 7. Engage your core for what was that? 6, 5. Breathe for 4, 3. Almost there. 2. Smile. And then releasing it all the way back down. We'll do the same on the other side. So left leg goes out and then lifts. So don't forget about your tummy. We're not just letting it spill out. Little baby pulses. We're doing this for 10, 9, 8. Make sure you're breathing. 7, 6. Relax your shoulders. 5, 4. We're nearly there. 3. Smile. 2. And then 1. Slowly releasing it back. You're going to keep your hands in this position as you slowly walk your knees backwards. You're going to bring your bottom right up into the air and then try and allow your head to come towards the floor. So I don't know about you, but I'm finding it hard to maintain those two parallel lines. My elbows want to come out and my wrists want to come in. So just try your best to maintain those parallel lines. You're breathing. You may even feel a little stretch all the way through your front of your body. Breathing there for a few moments. And then when you're ready, slowly walking back up. And if you need to come off the arms for a moment, or just maybe tuck the toes under. Just bring the arms forward. So have the hands upwards as if you're pressing them against a hard surface. And then nice and slowly bring the hands down. So get a nice big stretch through these wrists. You're also going to get a nice stretch of the fascia of the foot. And then when you're ready, here we go, we're going down. So we're going to do thread the needle. Knees as wide as your mat. Big toes are together. Again, we're not just letting the tummy just hang out. So just tuck that tailbone slightly under. Relax your shoulders. And then check your weight isn't sort of, it's spread evenly. So it's not all dumped back here and you're not all the way over here either. So with your right hand, take a nice deep breath. You inhale as you open up through the chest. Maybe wiggle your fingers. Exhale as you feed the right arm under the bridge of the left, bringing the ear towards the mat. We're just going to do 5 more of these. So we inhale as we open up. Nice chest open. Exhale as you feed the arm through. So going into a little rotation. We've got 5 more to go. And then we're exhaling, nice and slow and controlled. You're keeping your core engaged. You're not just allowing your tummy just to drop out. You're folding at the hips. I've completely lost count of how many we've done. So I'm going to say 3 more. I shall say 2 more. So when you're ready, get that really nice rotation into your thoracic spine off the back. I'm going to do 1 more after this. And then we're going to hold it. Really stretch up. Nice deep breath as you exhale, feed the arm through. You're now going to bring it as far through as you comfortably can. Allow your right ear to come to the mat and then start to slide your left hand towards the top end of your mat. You're going to get really nice, big stretch through your shoulder blades. Just take a few moments here. Just breathe. And then when you're ready, slide your hand back to your start position. Press into your hand and you unravel. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So just before we start, just check your positioning. So make sure you haven't suddenly dumped all your weight down. So your hips are above your knees. Your weight is also on your wrists. Relax your shoulders. So let's not do that. So relax the shoulders. And then check the tummy isn't just spilling out. So just tuck the tailbone slightly under. Nice deep breath as you inhale. Lift the left arm. Stretch up towards the ceiling. Exhale as you feed it behind the bridge of the right. I'm just going to reposition my camera. You just keep going. So my microphone, sorry. So just keep going. Inhaling as you open up through the chest. Exhale as you feed the arm. So inhaling, getting a lovely big chest opener. As you exhale, you're going into a lovely rotation. So check that your core is still engaged. Relax your shoulders. We've got 3 more to go, I think. Exhaling. Nice and slow and controlled. Inhaling as you come back down. Really stretching through the chest. Folding at the hips. On this next one, we're going to hold it. So we inhale. And then as we exhale, feed the left arm under the bridge of the right. And then start to slide the right hand towards the top end of the mat. Get a really nice big stretch through the lower back. To the shoulder blades. And then when you're ready, start to slide the right hand back and we unravel. And we're coming onto our bottom. So if you need something to support you to lift your bottom up, please use it. So a towel, blanket, or a cushion, just to lift your hips slightly higher than your knees. And then when you arrive, just get yourself into position. Have a good adjustment. Get the fleshy bits out of the way. You're on your sit bones. You're lengthening from the crown of the head. Now, think about your alignment. We did it when we were standing. Your head is going to be directly above your rib cage, directly above your pelvis. So what we tend to do is sink like this. So we're going to try and sit up and out of our hips. We're trying to open up to the chest. So collarbones are super wide. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. Hands are going to be by your side. Take a nice deep breath. On the exhale, slowly nod your chin to your chest. Scoop through your abdominals. And then start sliding your hands along the floor towards your feet. Obviously, have your knees bent if you need to. If you can flex your feet, it just gives you a little bit more of a stretch. You're only going as far as your body allows. When you've got to your furthest point, take a moment there, breathe. And then on the exhale, slowly restack. Slide your hands to your start position, still maintaining that core engagement. And it's your shoulders, your neck, and your head. Come that last one, a couple more times. Take a deep breath, nod the chin to the chest, scooping through the abdominals, sliding your hands forwards. Obviously, keep the knees bent if you need to. Feel that beautiful stretch to the backs of the legs, through the calves, hamstrings, and the lower back. We're just going to do that a couple more times. So you exhale as you start to come forwards, sliding your hands as far as they comfortably can. Take a deep breath on the exhale, slowly restacking. I'm going to give you another version. If you want to try that, You have your hands in front. Just check the wrists are slightly lower than your shoulders, and you're not doing that. So relax your shoulders. Still keep the collarbones nice and wide. Take a deep breath, nod the chin to the chest. Start to scoop the abdominals, and start sliding your hands forwards along an imaginary coffee table. When you've got your furthest point, take a moment there, breathe. Check the shoulders haven't come up to the ears. Keep the knees bent if you need to. Take a deep breath. On the exhale, slowly restack. So take your time. It's your shoulders, your neck, and your head coming up. Again, take a deep breath, nod the chin to the chest. You're just sliding as far forward as you comfortably can go. And listen to your body with this. It's not a competition. When you've got your furthest point, take a moment to breathe. Feel the stretch before you restep. You're just going to do 2 more. You choose whichever version suits you do best, with your arms up or your arms down. Take a deep breath. Another chin to the chest. Really scoop to the abdominals and slide forwards. You're going towards your feet, either an imaginary coffee table or along the floor. Notice how your lower back's feeling. Notice how your hamstrings and your calves are feeling. Take a deep breath as you restack. Engage in your core the whole way through. Shoulders, neck, and head come up last. This is your last one. Nice deep breath. Another chin to the chest. Really scoop into the abdominals. And really super slow, slide your hands forwards as far as you comfortably can. Take a moment there to breathe. And then when you're ready, slowly, slowly restack. With your shoulders, your neck, and your head coming up last. We're going to do one little stretch. We're going to bring, if we can, again, you can have your bottom lifted. You can bring your right leg in and then bring your left leg on top. So again, have your bottom lifted if you need to. And all I want you to do is just gently walk your hands forwards. So you're just going as far forwards as you comfortably can. Trying to keep both buttocks on the floor. So you may only come to here. You're just going to get a nice stretch to the back. So we've just been warming up the back, stretching the back. But I just wanted to see if you can go maybe a little bit further today. And then maybe you may bring your forearms, so your elbows to the floor. You may be able to bring your forehead to the floor. Just take a moment here. Just breathe here. Relax your shoulders. And then when you're ready, you're going to walk your hands over to the right. And then just feel that really nice big stretch through the left side of the torso. Again, trying to keep both buttocks down. And then we're going to walk over to the left. Get the stretch through the right side. So just notice how your body feels. You may just be up here. That's absolutely fine. I would rather you focus on the sensation than the shape. Don't worry about what you look like. Just breathe. And when you're ready, slowly come back up. We're going to reverse the feet. So bring the left leg in first, and the right leg goes up on top. So we're in this position. So I understand not everyone's going to be able to get anything that resembles this, but just work with what you've got. Just try your best and start to walk your hands forwards. Nice and easy. When I do this with the kids, I say it's little spider hands walking forwards. So you come as far as you comfortably can. You may bring your elbows down if it's available to you. You may bring, excuse me, your forehead to the floor. Just breathe here for a few moments. Just notice how your back's feeling. Get that lovely big stretch. And then when you're ready, walk over to the left side. Big stretch to the right side of the lower back. Try and keep the hip on the floor. So make sure it doesn't lift up. And then slowly walk over the other way. Nice big stretch. And then when you're ready, slowly come back up. And we're going on to our backs. Hallelujah. So if you had anything underneath your bottom, please remove it. And you can use that for your head support now. So we're going to come into a nice comfortable position. So just the rest position, knees are going to be up. You're going to have your feet together. If you need that thing under a little support for your head, please use it. And just take a moment here just to land. Just gather your thoughts, or let your thoughts sort of go and just be present in the moment. So feet are going to be together. Take the heels in a small triangle. Bring your toes in line with your heels. So your ankles, your knees, and your hips are nicely aligned. Now very gently just start pelvic tilts, just allowing the lower back to go flush with the mat, and then allowing it to arch. Just rolling through the pelvis just a couple of times, just noticing how it feels. And then I want you to end up with your tailbone slightly lifted, and you've got your lower back. It's not neither flush and neither is it arched, but she's ready to just slide a little finger just underneath it, just ever so slightly. And then we're going to stabilize the shoulder. Bring them right up to the ears, squeeze them all the way back, and then gently sliding them down. Now, quick reminder of our core. Big wide belt, tightening it as much as you possibly can, maximum intensity. Going all the way up to notch number 10, holding it. And then with control, you're releasing it halfway to notch number 5. And then notch number 3. Just see if you can maintain that little bit of awareness throughout the rest of these exercises. Now, pelvic floor, I know it's a lot harder to think about. And if this is just a step too far, don't worry, at some point, another day, another year, it might come together. But if not, just smile sweetly and go, yes, Alison. So take a nice deep breath, inhale. Allow the body to expand, exhale. See if you can squeeze and lift the pelvic floor. One more time, breathing in and breathing out, squeezing and lifting. So when you're ready, nice and easy, we're just going to bring our hands to the back of our heads. So we're just going to create a little hammock for our heads here. And for those that were with me on Saturday, we did a variation of this. So we're going to do a curl up. So I want you to just slightly nod your chin to the chest. And imagine I'm going to put a little soft piece of fruit, so maybe a little plum or a peach or something. And it's really soft and we don't want jam. So take a deep breath. On the exhale, I want you to start peeling your spine. You're lifting vertebra by vertebra until you come up onto your shoulder blades. What I don't want you to do is bring your chin to your chest. So keep the gaze up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath, and then on the exhale, slowly restack your upper back. So this is the reverse of a shoulder bridge. So you exhale as you lift. You're coming up vertebra by vertebra. And then inhale. At the top, exhale as you lower back down. So just do this a couple of times. What I don't want you to think about is a crunch. So we're not crunching. We are curling up. So you're articulating through the upper spine and you're firing up your upper abdominals. So make sure you're breathing nice and slow. Keep the elbows in the peripheral vision, so they're not right out here and neither are they in here. You should just be able to see them in the corners of your eyes. And the other thing I want you to think about is your lower body here. So you're keeping the knees stacked above the hips and the ankles. So we're not allowing them to come sort of lose control. They're not coming in or out. And you also see if you can use the pelvic floor. I know this is a very big step on. If you can, as you exhale, see if you can squeeze and lift the pelvic floor. Take a deep breath, relax the pelvic floor. And then as you exhale, squeeze and lift the pelvic floor again. If that's just a step too far, just focus on this move. What I want you to really concentrate on is that you're not crunching. So your chin is lifted. You're looking up towards the sky. And you should start feeling a little bit of warmth coming in to those upper abdominals now. Yeah? Hope so. Right, if you want to add to that, so there's a little bit of Pilates for the brain. As you come up into your curl up, you may allow the left leg to need to drop to the side. Keep the feet on the floor though, and then draw it back in as you lower back down. So you exhale as you drop the knee and come into your curl up. Keep the gaze up, inhale to come back. So you're now working the pelvis, so you're sort of destabilizing the pelvis. So you're having to work a little bit more core. And you also get a little bit of obliques, so the muscles down the side here working as well. Then let's not forget the upper body though. So let's not allow the shoulders to come up to the ears. Got a lovely long neck. Elbows should still be in your peripheral vision. Keep the gaze up towards the ceiling. You're not crunching the back of the neck. You might start feeling a little bit of heat, a little bit of warmth coming into the body, yeah? If you can, we're just going to do a couple more. Just keep breathing. Try and keep the feet on the floor. So the soles of the feet are going to remain on the floor as you drop your knee. And see what's happening with your pelvis. We're just going to do, after this one, we're just going to do one more set. And then we're going to have a nice stretch. So we exhale as we lift. And lower. Nice and slow and controlled. When you've done your last one, take your legs out long, take your arms out long. Nice full body stretch. So you can have a moment here. You may want to just circle around through the wrists and the ankles, maybe flex and point the feet. And get this really nice big stretch all through these abdominals that we've just been working. And then when you're ready, you're going to roll onto your right side. And if you have something behind your head, bring it with you. You can use it as a little support. You're going to bring your head, is going to rest on your arm. You're going to have your shoulders stacked on your shoulders. Your hips are going to be on your hips. And today you're going to bring your knees up. So your feet, the soles of the feet are going to be in line with your tail. Knees are slightly forwards. So bring your hand onto the chair, into the hip. Give it a little stretch, a little tiny space underneath this waist. And then when you're ready, you're lifting that leg to hip height in the bent position. So you can have your hand on your thigh, or you can bring your hand in front of you. Now also check what's going on with your chin and your chest. Like we did in the curl up, we don't want to be looking down. So keep the gaze up. You've got a nice space between your chin and your chest. You're not crunching the back of the neck. And then relax your shoulders. Breathe. We're just going to do a couple more like this. Nice and slow and controlled. Just breathing. And then on the next one, you can keep with this if that's good for you. You can then, if not, you're going to bring the knees down. Foot comes up. So the top knee is going to kiss the bottom knee. Come back. And then you can either keep going or you can rest. So we're going to get an internal rotation of this thigh bone. So this thigh bone is turning inwards. You're going to start feeling the muscles of your glutes all around the hip joint starting to work. So breathe. Check that we're not allowing the shoulders to creep up to the ears. Keep the gaze out in front of you. We're just going to do, how many more should we do? Do another 4. Nice and slow and controlled. Also, see if you can keep that little gap between the waist and the mat. You've got 2 more to go. Feel that heat building up. Smile. It's all good. It's reminding you that you're alive. When you're ready, you're going to lower the leg back down. Now imagine, I want to keep the heels together. Imagine you have a metal bar through the hips and you're just going to lift the knees. So parting the knees and then lowering them down. So and we're doing the opposite. This is now an external rotation of your thigh bone. So just keep breathing. Nice and slow. So you're going to feel the heat building up in a different way now. So just keep breathing. Also, really important that you keep in the stacking of your hips. So you might not bring the hips as far. If you start going like that, you can see my hips are coming apart. So keep the hips on top of each other, nicely stacked. And breathe. We're just going to do this for another 3. Nice and slow and controlled. Think about a tug of war going on between the fingers here on your right and the tail of the bottom. This is your last one. And you may need to bring your knees into your chest. Give yourselves a nice big hug, a little pat if you need it. And then when you're ready, we're going to go on to our backs. So again, if you had whatever you had behind your head, you can put it back behind your head. And we're just going to come into a little, we're just going to go into a little twist now. So when you're ready, you're going to just keep both feet on the floor. Hands can be by your side, or if you've got the space, you can take them out to the side, palms up or down, whatever feels comfortable. Just allow the knees, both the knees are going to drop to the right, but keep the soles of the feet on the floor and keep both hips on the floor. Use your core to draw back to center. And it's nice and slow and controlled. Just do a couple like that. So it should feel really nice on the lower back. And just whatever you would like to do with your hands, the arms, So keeping grounding through the body. So both the soles of the feet remain on the floor, both hip bones, both buttocks stay on the floor, so you're not lifting. And if you're happy with this, just stick with this. If you want a little bit more, you can take the top leg, flex it, and then draw it back to center and fold it back down. So drop the knees. The top leg is going to extend. Flex it, and then slowly bring it back to center and then lower it. So you're going to have to work a little bit more core. As that leg extends out, it goes away from the midline. You're working the core a little bit harder. If that is too much for you, please bring the leg back down. Keep the hips on the floor. So try not to let, if your hips are starting to lift up, it's probably a little bit too far for you. You're maintaining that rib to hip connection. And you're breathing. They're really nice for the lower back. Jenny, I don't know if you joined us today, but really nice for sciatica. And I'm just going to do a couple more. If you want to add to this, you may bring one leg into tabletop, slide the rib towards the hip, bring the second leg to tabletop. So you can do exactly the same movement. So you're not allowing the lower back to arch. Maybe have a little repositioning. Bring your knees a little bit more into your chest, a little bit further away. Just find the point that's right for you. You can just allow the knees to drop. It won't go very far because you're going to keep both hips down. Inhale to come back. Exhale, we go the other way. So nice and slow and controlled. Make sure you're breathing. If it, you can either bring your knees further into your chest or bring your feet back to the floor. So you know your body better than I do. So work with what you've got. Nice and slow. If you want to add to this again, you can extend the top leg, flex it, draw it back to center. So it's exactly the same move as we had with the feet on the floor, but you've got your legs in tabletop now. Now, if this is too much, just admit it, acknowledge it as good, and bring your feet back down to the floor. So we're just going to do 2 more. You choose whichever version suits you best. Just make sure you're breathing. It's your last one. Nice and slow and controlled. If you've got your legs up, you're going to float one leg down at a time. Take the legs out long, take the arms out long again. Nice big stretch. And then when you're ready, we're going to roll onto our left side. So let me just reposition myself. So your shoulders are going to be stacked on your shoulders, your hips are on your hips, and today your knees are going to be up. So if you have a little cushion or blanket, you can put it between your arm and your head. So your knees are going to be up, but your feet are going to be in line with your bottom. Little stretch. So bring your hand to your hip, give it a little stretch. It's lifting the waist slightly. And then when you're ready, just lifting and lowering that leg in its bent position. So think about maintaining the stacking of your shoulders and your hips, lengthening from your left fingertips here to the tail, and also working to maintain that little gap here. And as I said before, just check what's going on with the shoulders. We don't want them creeping up to the ears. Nice long neck. And then also keep the gaze in front. So you're not looking down. You're not crunching your chin to your chest. Nice long neck again. Right, so you're going to start feeling a little bit of warmth building up into this hip bone, this hip area, the buttock. You're also working the muscles here, the obliques. You're making it a nice and slow and controlled flowing movement, yeah? So you're not flipping, flopping up and down. You're maintaining all of that big wide belt of muscles, drawing it all in towards the midline. And hopefully you start feeling a little bit of heat coming to the body now, yeah? Good. When you're ready, you're just going to start internal rotation. So bringing the knees together, heel comes up. I'm just going to do a couple more like that. Nice and slow and controlled. And you've got this internal rotation of the thigh bone. So you're bringing your knees to kiss, the heel comes up to the ceiling. If you need to rest between, please do. You can bring the leg down. You're just breathing. We're just going to do a couple more. Just feel that nice little bit of heat, that warmth coming into that area, giving you good indication that you're still alive, that all is well. This is your last one, and then we're going to start the external rotation. So bring the heels together and we lift the knees. So as we're doing this, as I said on the other side, just maintain that stacking of the hips. So you're not going to lift as far as you may be able to, may think that you can. Just be very aware of what's going on there, but try not to keep looking down and crunching the neck. So nice long neck. Relax your shoulders. You can have your hand in front of you for support, of course, or you might have your hand on your thigh. So can we just do, how many should we do? Another 5, yeah? Feel that heat building up into the bottom. Should feel good. Got 3 more to go. Make sure you're breathing any way that feels comfortable for you. And this is going to be your last one. When you've done that one, bring your knees into your chest. Give yourselves a little hug, a little pat if you need to. And slowly we're going to roll onto our backs. But don't rush. Don't let me rush you. We're just going to finish off with a shoulder bridge. So if you had something behind your head, please remove it for this. I don't want you to hurt the back of your neck. You're now going to just, if you did have something behind your neck, you can bring it between your knees. It just gives you a nice bit of alignment between your knees, your ankles, and your hips. Now you're grounding through your feet, pressing into all 4 corners of your feet. You're engaging your glutes, so squeezing your bottoms. If you've got something between the knees, squeeze it. And then from your tailbone, take a deep breath. Tailbone is going to start to lengthen upwards. Allow the lower back to go flush with the mat and peel your spine. Just going vertebra by vertebra until you end up on your shoulder blades. So you're going to end up with a straight line between your knee, your hip, and your shoulder. Again, check what's going on with the chin. So try not to bring the chest to the chin and the chin to the sky. So not crunch at the back of the neck. Breathe. Feel that really nice big stretch. Take a deep breath on the exhale, slowly, segmentally. Allow each vertebra to melt back down with your pelvis and then your tailbone coming down last. We're going to just do one more. Take a deep breath. So you lead from your tailbone. So the tailbone starts to lift, lower back goes flush with the mat, and then start peeling your spine. So you're lifting your hips. Your shins are going to come forwards. And then you're going to bring your hips in line with your knees and your shoulders. Got a lovely big straight line here. Bring your chin to your chest, chest to your chin, chin to the sky. Now feel that really big stretch all through the hip flexors, working the glutes and the hamstrings. And if you want to, you can start lifting and lowering the heels. And just make sure the hips aren't dipping. Make sure you're breathing. You can maybe bring your toes up. Just find any little movement that feels good. You might feel your hamstrings working a little bit harder. So just smile, it's all good. Try not to let the hips collapse. Take a deep breath, and then on the exhale, slowly, slowly allow the spine to restack. The middle back, lower back, and then your pelvis. And when you've got your legs, when your spine has come all the way back down, just allow your legs to go side to side, just a little windscreen wiper your legs side to side. Just get a little bit of movement back into that area. And then if you want, you can bring your feet as wide as your mat and then allow the knees to drop in and then drop out. So just breathing a few moments like this. Just getting movement back into that pelvis. And then we have finished, but we're just going to do some stretches now. So bring your knees into your chest, one at a time. Scoop the tailbone up. And then you can hug your knees into your chest. Maybe bring your nose towards your knees. Maybe have a little rock side to side. So whatever feels right for you. Just do that for a few moments. Just massage in the lower back. And then maybe you can bring your hands to your knees and circle them around. Really nice for the hips. If you find that you're a little bit grippy, a little bit crunchy in those hips, it should feel nice. Just breathe. And when you're ready, bring in the left foot down. Take the right leg out long. You're going to take your hands, you're going to interlace either behind the thigh or behind the calf, but not behind the knee. Keeping a little softness to that knee. And then using the hands to very gently encourage the leg towards you. You're not forcing anything. You're just working at your own level. What you should be feeling is a really big stretch all the way through the back of the leg. And if you can maybe do little ankle circles. You can flex and point your toes. Just make sure that you are not creating tension elsewhere. Just relax everything down. Soften the skin on your face. And make sure you're breathing. And when you're ready, bring in the right ankle onto the left knee. And if that's enough, you just place your right hand on that right knee, ease it away. If you need a little bit more, you can interlace your hands behind the left knee and lift the leg up. So whatever option you've gone for, you should get a nice big stretch in your right buttock, your right glute. If you've got your leg up, you can play around with this angle of this leg. You can maybe flex and point. You can maybe do some ankle circles. Just whatever feels right for you. Just breathe. Relax your shoulders, soften the skin on your face. And then when you're ready, you're going to slide along this top with the right shin. So your right knee is on top of your left. With your left hand, you're going to reach for your right ankle. With your right hand, you're going to reach for your left knee. And then gently ease this in towards you. So this is the piriformis stretch. As I said many, many, many times now, this is brilliant for sciatica. So this little horrible muscle called the piriformis is where the sciatic nerve runs through. If that muscle is tight or inflamed, it will press on that nerve and create absolute havoc. So we're just trying to stretch it out, try and prevent any nastiness like that. Jenny, I don't know if you're with us, but if you are, this is for you. Breathe. And then when you're ready, just gently release the leg down. We're doing the same on the other side. Excuse me. So left leg is going to extend out long. Interlace the hands either behind the calf or behind the thigh, not behind the knee. Keep a little softness to that knee. And then use your hands to gently encourage the leg towards you. So you don't need to force, don't need to yank, don't need to crank. Just work at your own level. Allow your shoulders to grow heavy. Let them melt down into the mat. Breathe. And then you've got the options, obviously, of flexing and pointing your foot, ankle circles, anything that feels right for you. But just check that you're not clenching anywhere, that you're not grinding your teeth. Just soften maybe the skin around your temples, around your jaw, and just relax. And when you're ready, you're going to bring the left ankle onto your right knee. If that is enough, you just place your left hand on that knee and ease it away. If not, interlace behind the right knee and lift the legs up. So you're going to get this really big, lovely stretch in your left glute, whichever version you went for. And then you've got, again, the options of playing around with this angle of the right knee. You can flex and point your toes. You can maybe do little ankle circles. Just breathe. Relax your shoulders. All good. We're nearly there. Just a couple more minutes. And when you're ready, just sliding along the shin, bringing the left knee on top of the right. With your right hand, reach for your left ankle. With your left hand, reach for your right knee. Just gently encourage the knees into the chest. Just hold that for a few moments. Just make sure you're breathing. I promise you that afterwards it'll feel really good. Yeah. So just relax. Trust, it's all good. And then when you're ready, slowly releasing that down, you're going to just roll onto your side, whichever side's most comfortable, and use your hands to bring you back up to a seated position. So you're going to take your left leg out long, bring your right knee into your chest. You're going to hug it with your left hand, bring your right hand behind your bottom, and then gently twist. So we're not forcing this twist. You're just working with what you've got. But what I want you to do is lengthen. So we're not going to collapse down here. Use the hand to support you. A couple of nice deep breaths. As you inhale, see if you can expand. As you exhale, see if you can squeeze and lift the pelvic floor. And go a little bit more into your rotation. Just 2 more breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. Last one. And then when you're ready, just release the leg. And we swap sides. So right leg goes out, left leg comes in. Hug the left leg in with your right hand, and then bring the left hand behind your bottom. You might find one side is a little bit stickier than the other. Use your breath. Inhale as you expand. Exhale. See if you can go a little bit more into the twist. See if you can squeeze and lift the pelvic floor at the same time. Try not to collapse down into this. So one more breath. Inhaling, exhaling. Nice. And then when you're ready, just release that down. We're just going to bring our hands just behind our bottom. You can do whatever you like with your legs. You're going to bring your hands just to your bottom. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Bring the elbows together. Nice big stretch through the chest. Keep the chin slightly nodded. Just breathe. So bring your hands, maybe interlace them, maybe place one hand on top of the other, and then nod the chin to the chest, get a really big stretch through the back of the neck. Breathe. And then when you're ready, release it. You're going to bring your feet in line with your bottom. Transfer your weight onto your knees, tuck your toes under. If you've got any knee conditions, you know not to do this, but just come straight back up. If not, we're just going to come onto this little squatty toes down position, get a really big stretch through the calves. Just take a moment here. You may want to challenge yourself, maybe come onto your fingertips, maybe bring your hands to your knees, maybe lengthen upwards the crown of the head. Just whatever feels right for you. And then bring your hands to the floor. Take a deep breath, press into the heels, bring the bottom up into the air. And then just take a moment here, keep the knees generously bent, let the blood rush to the head, and then just have a little sway. Just sway side to side. Maybe clasp your elbows. Just notice how your lower back is feeling. Breathe. Relax your shoulders. Take a deep breath on the exhale. Slowly, segmentally restacking your spine with your shoulders, your neck, and your head coming up. So we're just going to do one little final. Take the right leg out to the side. Sweep it back and round. Have a little bend in the knees and float the arms up. Grabbing hold of your right wrist with your left hand. Look up, past your past your right elbow. Look up to the side. Nice side body stretch. And then releasing it down. Same on the other side. And take the leg out. Sweep it all the way back around. Soften, bend the knees if you need to. Float the arms up. Grab hold of your wrist. And then gently ease it across. Look up to the sky, sort of behind the elbow. Really nice side body stretch. And then come back, float the arms back down, little shoulder roll, and then the other way. Well done, everyone. We have finished. Thank you for joining me. Hope you enjoyed. And let me know, have any comments, send them to me. Take care. Lots of love. Bye.